welcome to the show. And now we're going to have a poet, Mary Ann McFadden.
We have the music of Laura Joy.
We also have a performance from William Roper.
We also have music from Franklin Pfister.
And on with the show.
This poem is called To the Lizard God, and it might need a bit of explanation. I lived a number of years in Mexico, and I had a yard full of lizards, and I had a cat. And the cat caught so many lizards day after day that I started feeling a little bit guilty toward the lizards. And so I ended up writing this to the lizard god, thinking of the Buddhist concept of the God in all things. And so that's how come the title is what it is. To the lizard god. God of damnation, lizard god, eaten alive each day by the cat, and your guts ground into the carpet, or flung, O God of abandonment, into a corner. God of stench, God of retribution, warm and soft in my paper napkin, tossed in the wastebasket, carried out with crumbs and paint flakes, fruit skins and onion husks, nail parings and hair fished from drains. With crushed bugs and blooded, swatted, stinging things, O God that gives and takes away, forget me in your pain. Turn your face from me in your suffering. Close your eyes upon me in the furnace of midday as you begin to rot or in the tepid rain. When ants deliver your flesh to their queen, when your acids leak into dirt, when your frail bones fall into calcium and enter the clear blood of plants, when you are sipped at last to the top of the tree, think of me, O infant. When the brown moth alights on you and you give thanks, O God of the one everlasting touch, O breath, remember me.
This is a whole different experience here. Well, I wrote a letter with my hopes for something better. Before we spoke, I wrote a letter with my hopes. And I made a list of what I'd missed before I saw your face. Yeah, before we kissed, I made a list of what I'd missed. So take the spot of my little heart, you can trace all of the curves. You see how well it can fit in the space between our words. Now you took your time and it worked out fine. I'll confess I had things to address. You took your time, it worked out fine. And please, can it stay this way? You know I won't complain. I shot at your smile and I'm set for a while. Can it stay? I won't complain. Just take this part of my little heart, you can trace all of the curves. You see how well it can fit in the space between our words. between our words. Oh, I'll be right here, I'm no fool. Well, I won't disappear, no wavering back and forth after finding my true north. So take this part of my little heart, you can trace all of the curves. You see how well it can fit in the space between. You take this part of my little heart, you can trace all of the curves, and you see how well it can fit in the space between our words. Between our words. Cool beans.
Okay, this next one needs a little explanation also. I wrote this in Seattle, where I lived for a number of years, and it's very wet there, and the houses get very wet. And what happened was I spent a lot of time sitting at the dining room table looking out at the house next door, and that house needed painting. But when they painted it, they hadn't let the wood dry enough. And so when they painted it with a, plastic paint, and the sun came out, the paint would get bubbles in it. And I thought the bubbles looked like other things. That year the whales rose out of the green paint. I forgot to hate the things I used to hate. I left the wallpaper hanging in strips and let the cats go in and out while books piled up in drifts. That year, I let myself stay up late and drink, though the clock that rang at 6 was loudly cursed. That was the year the children's rooms began to reek of moldering oranges and chocolate. And I had yet to write 1,000 stupid lines about love, that impossible give and take, though I and a friend took time enough to understand the words we couldn't say. All that spring, the shadows made a changing shape on the neighbors' clapboard walls, like rows of ocean waves, where blisters from the summer sun began to swell with a cetacean grace and let their bellies roll. I watched out my window while the slow months wait. That year the whales rose out of the green paint, pressed like coal in my throat, until the whole year lit up and dove and shrank itself to a minute. It's called Among Others. Already, a breeze had come down from the north, where farmers harvested beans and wheat, the rich ones in air-conditioned combines, the poor ones who picked by hand. When this north wind freshened them, they stopped and shouted to each other. Next month, storms would bring geese and grebes overhead, and the winds after that would bring ice and snow. So many choices we had to make, so many ways to go wrong. Around us was suffering we had no will to change. And in our cities, even in our warm coats, we suffered. When a gulf of cold air pours 1,000 miles across the earth and touches us, we are glad we live among others. And though even the smallest act of kindness can turn out the wrong way, a dollar placed in the outstretched hand can come to the price of a meal or a drug. The words we mean to say can be misunderstood, and love, that glimpse of good, can sour. Though every righteous place we constructed together can slip and destroy, we can hide our heads in one another. Sister, brother, what we want is somewhere out ahead of us. What we need is just to see one thing clear.
Never know what the next day brings. Use the pain to help us sing. We're all made of the same things. Isn't it amazing? We never know what the next day brings. Use the pain to help us sing. We're all made of the same things. Isn't it amazing? We breathe it in, we breathe it out. Try a whisper, then try a shout. Feel the rhythm and dance about. We're amazing. We listen well, we soak it in. We squeeze it out, then absorb it again. Not quite done, so let's begin. We're amazing. We never know what the next day brings. Use the pain to help us sing. We're all made of the same thing. Isn't it amazing? We never know what the next day brings. Use the pain to help us sing. We're all made of the same thing. Isn't it amazing? Try to stay strong and we're feeling weak. Try to stand tall and get knocked off our feet. We lose it all, hide and seek. Never ours to keep. As above, so below. Take a break, then on we go. All together, never alone. We're amazing. Thank us all for all of it. Thanks for teaching bit by bit. And thanks for love, a thrival kit. We're amazing. We never know what the next day brings. Use the pain to help us sing. We're all made of the same thing. Isn't it amazing? We're amazing. We're amazing. It's amazing. We're amazing. Cool. Thanks.
So this is the last one. It's called Bristlecone Pine. And as you know, bristlecone pines are the oldest living non-cloning trees on Earth. And for some reason, I'm sure she's a woman. Her sprout broke the glacial ice, held where few beasts could reach her. 5,000 years passed. Soft skies whiffed, seasons snapped, pyramids, civilizations hopped and skipped. Vast armies sparked, and yet the life in her pressed, and still the thick sap urges upward in a single living strip of bark. She stands, anchored in adamant, the eons in her wood arrest. Her years ring thinner than the thinnest paper. She stood at the making of our clay tablets and stands now at the end of books.
We hope you enjoyed the show, and we hope to see you next time on Arts in Exile.